So everyone, welcome to this episode of Testermite Podcast. In this episode, Dave and I start to discuss other platforms of discussion, competition for Testermite, and just the way things are moving with discussing strategy, finding strategy, just how times have changed. And then about 10 minutes into it, Gerchap joins us, and we start going into Mortal Kombat Deception and all the history behind that. You hear a lot of classic names that some may recall, some may never have heard of these people, but you will be now. Just some excellent history. And again, I just want to thank m2dave and Gerchap for being part of this podcast, and turned out amazingly. Gerchap has so much knowledge with the Xbox side of things, and m2dave on the PSN side of things. So a lot of great history here. So I really hope you enjoy, and thank you for tuning in. Yeah, now with this, I think with if we could end up having Gerchap on here and Dan, I'm trying to get Dan to come on for a little bit because I know he has to get up really early. But
okay,
trying to get Dan on for a little bit. But I basically wanted to have each of us do like small intros to how we maybe even found MKO or even started on Deception back in the day, because that's kind of what this whole subject matter leads into, like how we came about, like finding the forums and getting into that game, because that 2005 era is just, there's so much history there that a lot of people don't even know about, So I wanted to just kind of scratch the surface of that, and if it ended up being like a part 2, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's cool, and I think it would be also beneficial. I know as a site owner, this has been on your mind. It's like, how it affects how Twitter and Facebook and Discord and Skype, I guess, how they affect, the gaming website, right? I mean, this is something you must have thought a lot about.
Yeah, I mean, it's my AMA thread that I made and responded to. I kind of went into that a little bit because I forget who it was. Oh, they actually asked me what my thoughts were of people actually going to Discord, and my take on that is you kind of have to be ready for those types of things. Like, you can't be complacent. You have to just keep moving forward, because we have Discord now, we have Twitter, it's been around for years, you have Facebook, but I'm open to the possibility that there's probably gonna be something else down the road that is brand new, might be better than Discord, or Discord just might get better than it is now. You just kind of have to be open for that. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily better, honestly, because I'm looking at, like, if there's a new character that I want to learn, forget the game. It can be any game. Like, I don't know if, like, you remember how it was back in the day? You go to test your might, you're playing Deception or, I don't know, whatever, man, even MK9,
Right.
And the information is right there for you. Like, you can learn all the combos, and you can read about the combos and the strategy in a matter of like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same anymore, for Discord and like Twitter. Forget about it. I'm not going through hundreds of tweets to find what I'm looking for,
Right. No, yeah, I mean, it's like what people, I don't really use Discord other than, right now. I don't really know much about it other than I've been seeing, people link servers and that kind of thing. But everything I've heard, you don't really have forums. You don't have designated spots for character discussion. For example, like people trying to do Facebook, groups, those types of things. But it's not organized like a forum can be and should be. But it's also up to the developers of the forum software too, because they have a huge responsibility to those like myself who buy this upgraded software and just to stay with the times. And with our upgrades, that there actually is a test environment right now for the upgraded version of TESTRMITE. It's not really anything I've been playing around with on a little bit. It's not anywhere near ready, but we'll get there. But with that coming up, there should be it should be a lot more mobile friendly. So again, just kind of trying to stay with the times and just kind of keep moving forward, because you have, if we would have stayed, let's say vBulletin or even a early version of Zen 4.0, we'd be basically like stabbing ourselves, because we're not. And granted, it's not cheap to do these things. That's why I had to GoFundMe. But in order to stay relevant and to do expect the community to stay with you, you have to kind of keep moving forward yourself. It's not easy, but you have to do it.
No, I understand. I'm honestly, we've back in the day, I was an idiot. We've had our disagreements, but I think I was wrong. But honestly, I'm not interested. Honestly, I'm here to support you. Obviously, I don't work for you. And I don't know how the numbers are down. And you can, if you want to tell me, you can. If not, I respect that. But
well, I can say that the ad revenue back in the day was a lot better than it is now. You actually could, basically really push the site. And because I'm not a developer in any means, I don't know the back end side of things. I'm not a coding guy, so it's actually my cousin who has been helping me with this since day one, and he's still doing it. He's very good at it. He's very thorough. But that back end stuff, anything I need to have done, he does it for me. He actually has it's him and another guy that works for him that again, they're doing the upgrades. But it used to be a lot better than it is now. But there's ad blocker, but there's also we're a Mortal Kombat site, so it's not like a lot of the stuff's kid friendly. And we'll if someone posts an image that Google flags that there's ad restrictions for this page, it could be thousands of pages that you just have no control over, then that's potentially lost ad revenue that you could have for obviously the website hosting. And most recently, when I was talking to JT Circus on the forums, he mentioned about a ranking system, and I discussed the possibility of having a ranking system before, and it's actually a system that Jaxel created that a Smashboards uses as well. And I just I was like, what, I'm tired of kind of asking for some feedback on here. I'm just going to do it because I want it. I think the community would love it, because especially with launching this ranking system, and again, this might not be live exactly when the TESTRMITE 2.0 comes before MKX, but it's going to be something that's rolling out shortly afterwards. But it'd be great to actually finally have a ranking system on our forums that's managed by us, and kind of a fresh slate for MK11. And obviously, hopefully we can backfill some tournaments that we need to kind of keep record of that what happened in the past. But anyway.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, I understand, but I guess it depends what what your goal is. Are you doing this as a service to the community, or do you want to make some money? Again, to me, if you don't want to talk, if you don't want to talk about this, I understand, because you have your own, I guess,
No,
agenda,
honestly, with that question, we'll go back to, Mortal Kombat United. It's simple as that. With me finding that site back when, again, I was on the site for a while. We went through the clan days and all that stuff, and then I ended up moving out. I didn't have internet access for a year. When I got back into it, I found MKO, and it was just vacant. It was I'm kind of where did everyone go? Because don't see this. It's not as active as it was. And so Rio, I believe it was, who basically directed me to MKU. So with being on there for a while, I just wanted to be more involved in the community. I was never, let's face it, I was never like any good, and it's fine. I'm still not. I much rather enjoy watching others play just because I find it fascinating. It's like me watching my favorite sports team. It's just like the players. I just love watching it. It's nuts. But no, for me, it's more about the community. It was never really about making money off of it. I mean, sure, it was nice when ad revenue was better and I was able to better support things and kind of just do things, basically get things added to the site and pay others to do this and not have to worry about it. But no, it's to basically answer your question, it's always been more of a hobby, more for the community. It's never been about making money. If it was about making money, the site would have been, Test Your Might would not be around right now.
No, I understand. Thank you for answering the question. Now, Chap, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yes. Chap, great to hear from you, man. Great.
Yeah, man. I'm driving back from work. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear the car running.
My bad.
It's okay.
They don't make these Bentleys well anymore, No, I'm just kidding. Hey, but I'm. What is it?
I was just gonna ask, when are you gonna be home? Are you gonna be?
Oh man, I drive like about an hour every day.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because you said you were in California, so it's like what, around 7 over there or something, like 7.
It is 7:13. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So when are you gonna be home soon, or are you gonna drive for a?
Oh, I'll be driving, and I'm gonna have to go pick up some food and then going to have dinner. Yeah, I mean, like, weekends are very hard for me, and like nowadays, man, I've been like just busy because I have a daughter, 2 and like almost 2.5, and she keeps me busy, man. Between her and work, it's been very, very hectic lately. But that's why I want to get back in the online and gaming scene, so I have a hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. The reason I'm asking is because we're trying to see. Storms mentioned bringing in Dan, and we're trying to see if he can do it.
I think Dan's not gonna. Yeah, I asked him. I said this is before Chap joined us, but I said, hey, Dave and I are chatting. You should join. I haven't heard anything from him, so that'll probably have to be like a part 2 of this discussion.
Okay, all right. Well,
we're gonna have to add like the old gamers too. Just for like a fun.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to, because there's so much history that just with me talking with Shock and kind of going into early days, and that's not even over yet because there's a lot more I want to do with that. But with especially with the clan days, it just gets me so hyped just thinking about it. So I wanted to try to get something started with you guys. So I'm just thanks for your time though.
Well, I mean, Storms, what are you thinking? I don't know when Gerchap is going to be ready by tonight. I mean, I can still do. I mean, just tell me, like, are you thinking tonight, or are you thinking maybe you want to postpone this to do it another time, or like, what's on your mind right now?
Honestly, we can kind of, I know Chap's driving, but we could. I mean, I've been recording for like the last 15 minutes, so
okay.
We can just kind of keep it going, and if it ends up going into like a part 2 or something that I'm looking to have this roughly, I don't know, maybe an hour or just over that, just to keep it interesting. But just to kind of start this, I guess, Chap, I guess we'll start with you. Now, we're talking early, like, MKO days and, like, getting into Deception. How did you end up finding MKO or getting into that game at the time?
Oh, boy. Wow, way back, 05. I got the game, and my very, very first friend online was this guy from Florida. gamer tag was DJ Dirty, and believe it or not, we were rank horse pretty much. I got to be about in the top three online for Xbox, but
Wow.
like just selecting players, and this guy was like top seven, I believe. So we became like like good friends. I had another account that we played for fun. Me and this guy, we played for like probably 50 games every freaking night. Like just trying new stuff and trying new characters. He was a very good Baraka player, and I always like Borracho, but I try to play like a little different than the other guys. That's why I every time I play different guys, like random guys, they didn't really know what was coming because I wasn't using the free throws and all the glitches that a Borracho had at that point. So yeah, it was. That's why when I joined MKO, this guy mentioned MKO DJ Dre, and it was fun. Like I mean, like back in 2005, this was like a new thing. I don't think YouTube was
No,
out.
YouTube started in
Yeah.
05.
Yeah, and you know what? I started watching Conquer videos actually, Conquer.net,
Yeah.
and
Oh
yeah,
I
and
remember. Damn, that holy crap.
Yeah,
this is
he
a
had.
wow.
Yeah, I really hope he has a lot of those older videos because I would love to just go back and watch those MKD videos. And yeah, he had all that stuff.
yeah, and I mean, like this guy has been a big influence to a lot of people because in fact that's why I found MKO too. I went from video to video, and then I just ended up in MKO, and so I told this guy, "Do you ready?" My very first friend, and then we started going to this site, and then making friends. Eventually, we found MKF there, Red Saline, and then like more guys, Master Malone. This guy is probably the finest guy in the community. I really like Master Malone, and another cool guy was Mace Win. He was part of the Crazy 88.
Yeah,
These two guys are like, these two guys. Props to these guys. They kept the level of they're just classy. You know what I mean? They never fighting with people. They were just really good. So and then MKO, '05, and I just started like bringing people to the website, playing people and sending messages. Hey, just visit this website. A lot of elite players are there, and it was just fun, And I used to go there every day. And then eventually I met Dave online, but you guys were the PS2 side,
right.
so
Yeah.
we didn't really interact. But I mean, like everyone knew m2dave.
Oh
Or
yeah.
what
Oh
was
yeah.
it was Ignis, right, Dave?
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually Mace Wind, since you're talking about him, he was, at least back then, he was in Cleveland or part of the Ohio scene. I don't know where he lives right now. He was like like a little bit older than us at that time, so I definitely remember him and all those guys who were part of the Red Celine and Master Malone and were just part of the, I think, more like an Xbox scene right at that point, and less than on the PS2. So
Yeah, I recall also with Chap mentioning it. Yeah, it was Dr. Dreddy. I totally forgot about him, but yeah, I remember him as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, this he was a cool guy. He just got a lot of beef with a lot of people. Yeah, the thing is, he was good. He was good, and he knew that he could just win series and series. So that's why he always got in trouble. You know, but I was always like more like a cool dude. And then I met Bobby Blaze. Bobby Blaze is I mean, like in my top five best friends online. I mean, we created a MKU. From it was pretty much me and him, and then we got unit, and then go on and then use Storms. Like it was just like very good days. But that happened like 3 years after we all met in MKO. And watching you, Storms, did you have under your signature like he's a Storm or something like that? Never.
I don't remember. I remember now. Before I get too much into that, but how did Outworld Gods start?
Okay, so all right, so Outworld Gods, it was me, the Andretti, Bobby Blaze, and BNR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
BNR.
BNR.
Right.
Yeah, BNR was probably the best player in Xbox ever.
Did he?
BNR.
Did he use Noob Smoke? Was that the guy?
Yeah, he was the noob guy.
Yeah. I remember him. Awesome.
Yeah,
he was a Noob Smoke player. He got the status of m2dave in the PS2. Those two were the craziest players that ever touched the freaking controllers.
Do you know that he ended up playing on PS? Eventually, and he played me and a bunch of other high-level PSM players at that time. It was
the only player he didn't beat was you. Yeah, but there is a but. When I tried, because I played on the PS like one night, and I tried, and I couldn't get the controller. I just couldn't get the controller. It was different. It was a smaller controller, and I just couldn't try I just didn't do my best, So it could have taken more time for me to get used to it,
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was for him like that too. For DNR, I think a lot of the Xbox, this is, for us, the PS controller was by far, it's made for fighting games,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Again, and I understand. I still talk to people, playing too, and it's like, well, I don't understand. I did fine with the Xbox controller, even back in the day. But for us, it felt like a break, man. I don't know how you guys play with that, honestly.
No idea. That D-pad sucks.
I know.
That's why. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it was meant for first-person shooters, right? More than it was meant, for or even.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, but I commend all you guys for using that and actually being as good as you were. Though that's terrific.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's I feel like it's just that you're like, I was used to that big Xbox controller, and then I was like, I told Versatile, back then.
Oh yes, Sub-Zero player.
Props to you guys because that controller is so small, man. And I'm not a big guy. But I'm like, man, I can't do shit. I can't do anything with this, But so anyway,
you're cutting out a little bit there, man.
Yeah, you're cutting out majorly right now.
Yeah, it sounds like you're singing or playing a song on piano.
They're going to have the same objection too. You know what I mean? But I don't remember the final score. What was the score between you two, man?
Yeah, Chap, can you repeat some of your beginning, because you cut out when at the beginning of your once we switched topics. Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, what was the score between you two? Between you and between Dave and BNR.
Well, I played him. He was definitely one of the best new smoke players that I played. But honestly, again, I'm going to say this, and I think you guys know this was true. PSN had by far better. What he did, I've seen that before. I had seen that before what he was doing. I fought him many, many, many times before. But I couldn't tell what I was doing. He was not used to that at all. Remember Newbie? Back
yes.
Newbie.
He was the PSN guy.
Exactly. He was and he was a dirty motherfucker. He was infinite of you. So so the thing is, what DNR was using, I had fought that from Newbie many, many, many times, before. So it was really nothing new to me. But I could tell again what I was doing with Dairu, he was not used to at all. He was like, what the hell is going on? He still did. I won, and he still did okay. If I had to put a score, maybe it was like 10-5, 10-6 or something like that. But like he was, yeah, like but again, like he was not. I can tell it, MKF is the 30. Is that his like full username, right? Was that it?
MKF30?
Yeah, is that his
Yeah,
user?
yeah.
MKF, yeah.
Yeah, because I know he used Dairu as well, but apparently, like he didn't really like knew all the tech and the specific tombstone drop setups and all that stuff. So I can probably tell that DNR probably beat him really bad. So that's kind of like how I, how I compared what was going on, between the two consoles at that time. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, he is. But yeah, he in the Xbox. He was very good, man. Another good player was Alexi 009.
Yes,
Alexi.
yes.
Who did he use again? Who did he play?
Man, Alexi was like he was like overall like he was probably the best with everyone. Like the best player like with the entire roster. He was very good.
Well, who was his main characters though?
He played Asha at a very high level.
Okay.
He did. Oh man, I forgot. He did Cabal too. Like a very good. Kira was one of his men too. But between Alexi and BNR, everyone used to talk about that. Man, when are these two players playing? When was that? Was the series of the freaking century? In the Xbox. And then when these two played, both in their prime, BNR trashed Alexi 12-3.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So he went to MKO saying, "Man, this guy made me want to retire." And everyone started asking, "Oh, what was the score? What was the score?" We went 12-3, and I'm like, Jesus, because BNR was just something else for the Xbox, But then when players like Quick and Versatile came to the Xbox.
Quick 1320.
Yeah, they couldn't beat BNR.
Oh, they couldn't.
Wow.
They couldn't. And then so that's why BNR was good. So yeah, he was part of the Owl Gods. We created it, all four of us, Dreddy, myself, BNR, and Bobby Blaze.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to put this in there as well because I don't know if people know, because remember back in the day, PSN was free, while for Xbox you had to pay, right?
Oh yes.
So that made a difference in, if PSN is free, I can just play, online for free without, getting charged. So I think that's the major reason why, PSN had, by the way, more players as well. So eventually, obviously the more players there were, the easier it is to level up. So
right.
I think that made probably the biggest difference, and at that time.
Yeah, you guys had more elite players.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me just give it. I just want to give a shot. Like we had Yayo because he was the one who made me start.
Yes. Yeah, he was Bo Raicho, right?
He made me start. He and I started TKO. It was his original idea. We had Mo, Dan, Hancock. We had Conquer. I think Conquer was on both consoles though. And then we had a guy named Molson. What Alexia, what he was for you guys, Molson, was for us. Like he could play anybody. Versa, I think he later on came on PSN as well.
Yeah, later on, I remember him. He wasn't with you guys at first, but I think later on he joined you. Didn't Karate join you too?
Yeah, we had Karate. He was like an Ashura and Raito player as well. Like newbie, he was never a clan guy, but we had him as well on the PSN side.
Yeah, he was like a solo, just like it's kind of a solo assassin in his own way.
Yeah,
he just was, he wasn't even on the forums much, but when he was, I remember you and him especially would be going at it.
Yeah, well, man, let me just say this: like back in the day, everybody was an asshole. Like it was hard. Like, well, Storms, I was like, I've said some horrible stuff,
Yeah, but it was back then, and it's just awesome memories, really, in my opinion.
I understand. But a lot of people think, oh, look at Tweety, I can't believe some of the stuff he's saying, like the current drama with Christie and stuff. Like, dude, you have no idea. Like back in the day,
different world.
Yeah, man. But like people like crapping on on 3D and saying how bad a human being he is. But like back in the day, everybody did that. Like there was nothing really new. In fact, if nobody talks shit for a day, people are like, what the hell is going on? This is boring.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, but yeah, chap, go on with your point. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's cool. So okay, so they beat BNR, the only player that beat BNR in BNR's prime when he was in his. So then we started recruiting players. We got Duhu. I don't know if you guys remember this
Yes.
guy. I mean,
Yeah, I do remember him. Wow, okay.
Who did he?
yeah,
Who did he play? I
Yeah, I don't
remember.
remember who he played.
I don't remember who he played. Though. Which characters did he play?
he played Astra.
Wait, Noob Smoke, didn't he?
Astra. He ended up playing No Smoke. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
And this guy got so good that BNR told me, like, just in private, he said, man, I'm gonna retire, Chap. And I'm like, why? Because everyone's catching up. I'm like, there is no way people are catching up, man. Dude, I play, we mirrored. The score was 10-5, but it was like, it could have gone every single round could have gone like either way. You know what I mean? So, but he told me, man, I'm like, this guy is going to be better than me. And then Duhu got so bad, so much better. And the thing is that Duhu was in school and he only played the weekends. And then I was like, man, if this guy would play like we are playing, this guy would be probably the best. And he became very good. So we have Duhu, Pick Up the Hut.
Oh wow, pick up.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were the clan. Probably we had every single player. We had like the best in each character pretty much, because BNR was the best No Smoke, Pick Up the Hut was the best Cabal, Duhu was the best Astra, Stretch Shrimp joined too, he was the best Havoc,
I totally did.
Freddy was the best Baraka.
I didn't realize that Pig of the Hut was part of Outworld Gods. Didn't he go by Pig Hut too? It was Pig Hut, right?
God, yeah.
Okay.
He was probably the very first one that we recruited.
Wow.
He was always a popular guy, in the farm. So we went for those, It was actually me the one getting people to join the clan, and because we had BNR, you know what I mean. Everyone wanted to be with BNR,
right?
And I was back in the day. I used to give free codes for Xbox Live, like free 1 month, because I was going out with someone that I worked in GameStop, with this girl that worked in GameStop, so she used to give me those free codes.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, actually, I remember you offering it actually back in the day. I know you were offering some. I think you were gonna offer me. You might have probably messaged me and said, do you want one? And I'm like, I can't. I would love one, but I can't play with the PS. With the Xbox controller. I could never be as.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, the thing is that I'm the type of guy that honestly I don't have money. Obviously I don't have a lot of money. I have my full-time job and work my ass off. But I have a lot of connections, man. I was at that point. I was getting someone that worked in a GameStop, so I was getting like games and free codes for free, man. At that point, back in the day, having a 1 or 3 months for free for Xbox Live, that was golden.
Yeah.
I remember everybody when I talked to the Xbox side, everybody's like, well, he's not necessarily the best player, but man, he's such a nice person. You got to talk to him. I remember back in the day, because again, everybody was an asshole, but except Gerchap, everybody was so mean. Except you find this guy on everybody. Red Celine, he talks shit. MKF again, he thinks he's better than m2dave, with Iroh, and But again, Gerchap was not, even BNR was very, very friendly over on the Xbox side. But then then everybody else was so disrespectful. It was crazy.
Yeah, and the Xbox, a lot of egos, And which is fine, which is fine for a game, that's it's good to have beef, you just settle down playing. But yeah, I mean, like I try to hook up like the friends there, and but I wasn't really spending money. It was just I was getting stuff. I was getting stuff for free, and I was just giving them away. But then so we recruited Pick Up the Hut, Stray Shrimp, Doohoo, Aliens, my closet. I don't.
Did you say shrimp?
Yes, Stretch Shrimp.
Oh wow, I do remember him. Who? Wow, who did he play?
Yeah. Oh man, he was like Alexi then Alexi retired, and I think Stretch Shrimp took that title.
Holy
Stretch
shit! Wow, I totally forgot about him.
He could run them. And then man. So we had him. We had the best Shujinko, Crack Fiend.
Yes, Crack Fiend.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I remember that guy. He was also in TKO later on as well. He had he played oh man, what's the character's name?
Shujinko.
Yeah, Shujinko. Yeah, he played Shujinko. Yep. He was the original Shujinko.
He was like the best one. I mean, he was like the only real like dominant Shujinko that I recall.
Well, wait a minute. You know who the best Shujinko was, though, right?
On Xbox or PSN are we talking?
Like overall, period.
I'm familiar. Unless you're gonna pull a name out of your hat that it'll spring a memory. Who is it? Come on, Dave. Leave me in suspense.
It's Czech, dude. Czech's combos. Like, I understand Czech played everybody back in the day, but dude, if you got touched, 75% combo easily.
Wow.
Remember that's what the character was known for, because he had broken combos.
Right.
Because he had a lot of like the special moves from each character, and dude, like it was insane. Like I think CRK Fiend, like he was the one who popularized it, like he was the original one.
Right.
But then once Czech started doing his freaking combo videos, that I would say that's kind of when he took over.
Now Czech wasn't in and didn't end up joining any clan though, did he?
No, he was TKO.
Was he? Wow. Okay, so Dave, like now that we're kind of want to kind of go into the history of TKO, even though we've been talking about the members and everything else. But so talk me through like your history of again finding MKO and deception and and starting all that with TKO.
Well, like I've always. Even before that, I played Tekken and Street Fighter, mostly Tekken. Tekken's Zaibatsu. Street Fighter, you go to the SRK forums, like that's everybody knew. And for Soul Calibur, you go to 8-way run, whatever it was called back then, I don't remember. But then obviously, where do you go for where do you go for MK? Go to MKO, So, and obviously back then I had a mean attitude. I was an asshole. Like the trolling was just out of control, So obviously I had to release the energy somewhere. So exactly, I did it on MKO. But then Diego, who was a PR, Borracho player, one of the best ones at that time on the PSN, and one of the best Borracho players, period. Like, I think Tom Brady discovered a lot of that bullshit with that character, but then he just quit. And then kind of like Yayo took over from there.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I started. And it's like, man, I was known as Ignis at that time, but I went on as m2dave on the forum. So he was like, dude, let's start this best clan ever. And I think we were like the first MK3D clan at that time, even before the, Outward Gods, before BMF, before any of that stuff.
Right.
And we kind of started. It was just me, Mo was another Borracho player, and Yayo. That's kind of where we started. We just kept kind of recruited Czech, recruited Mr. S, Dancock, and then later, we just kind of like kept building after that, and I think, I was kind of the guy. Did you guys
also have Doomsday of NYC?
Yeah, I remember that guy. But who did he use? Was he a Noob Smoke player? He was, right?
I just remember his name.
Was he Doomsday of New York? Right?
Yeah. Was he a Noob Smoke player, or was he? I don't remember right now. Was he Darius?
I don't know if I recall any like known Darius players from back then.
Gerchap, do you remember any Darius players?
I do in the Xbox.
Who was it?
Easy to beat.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I mean, I know the
Bro.
name. I don't know much about his gameplay, but I know his name.
Easy to beat is probably the player with, man, I can't even describe this. Easy to beat was so nice, and he was probably the second best in Xbox history. That's my opinion. You know, this guy was probably just behind BNR, but they didn't fight. I don't know if Easy to Beat would have beaten BNR. Honestly, I don't really know. I think those two are like probably the best players.
I know. I know. Easy to Beat was. He was just good with every character, right? Wasn't he?
Yes.
Like he was. Again, he could use any character and beat the crap out of you. I do remember him.
Yeah, this guy was so good at random, and the problem with him was that every time he had people playing people from the PS2 side, he never used his main characters, and I'm like, dude, come on, man, you're an Xbox guy, you know? I'm like, and then like this guy was so nice, man. This guy, we became friends, you know. We talked on the phone, and he came to Boston, and we had dinner and stuff. But I asked him, man, you're too good. Why don't you just stick to? He was a crazy Hotaru. Hotaru was crazy.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember.
And Darius was good. Scorpion, like he was just good. And when later on he played Bone. And he wasn't using his best too in Crazy Bond, you know? And I'm like, man, because they have videos there, and I'm like, dude, just stick to your best ones, man. You know, it's the Xbox against the PS, you know? But he was just doing it for fun, and he was just a very, very nice dude. I wish I could get him back. I don't have his number anymore, and I mean, I wish I could bring him back. This guy is man by far one of the nicest guys.
Who was the known PSN or Xbox guys for Hotaru? Wasn't there one, Dave?
Yes. I just remembered. It was Thug. Remember Thug, guys?
Thug. Okay.
He was.
This guy was crazy too. He was like.
Yeah, he was insane.
He liked talking shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think Thug was the best Hotaru by far that I faced, and he also had a good Darius as well. Like he used him by the side.
He had like a number in his name, didn't he? It was like Thug something.
Yeah, I don't remember right now. I don't really just call him Thug anyway. But maybe, as I remember, you guys know what the tier list was. Let's face it. Maybe we can kind of go down the characters and see if we can come up with any other names that we haven't mentioned so far.
I'm gonna do a Google search and just get the deception screen up here quick so I can go down through the characters. But all right, so let's see here. We have all right, so Jade. Oh, that reminds me, chap. So Jade Own, was that Xbox the side or was that PSN? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Jade Own was PSN. We were very cool. I know he was. I don't remember where he lives. I know he was an Asian guy. I just trying to remember where. I was very cool with him. He was one of the nicest guys. One of few non-shit talkers. On the PSN. I think he used Jade, but since Jade was one. Jade was one of the Vika characters. I think he switched to somebody else, but I don't remember who though. So.
All right. So let's see here. Get a bigger image. Okay, so we had Jade. We have Kenshi. I don't. I have to refresh my memory. I don't really know who was really fabulous. Now, Quick 1320. Who all did he use? Did he use I know he used Ermac.
He used Jinko too. Shujinko.
Yeah, he used Shujinko. Yeah, I know that too.
Okay. See, I can't think of any. I'm sure there were some, but I can't think of the Kenshi players that were really.
Xbox. For the Xbox was easy to beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Czech had a really good. I guess Czech really had a really good every character, but I remember.
I think easy to beat and Czech And Molson, again, I know you Xbox guys probably didn't know who he was. Like, he was a Canadian, like an older dude. I think Molson, Czech, Easy to Beat, like those three guys were pretty much good with anybody. Like they can go, they can use they could use any character that that you want them to use.
At a very high level.
Yeah, at a very, very high level. Not just bullshit. Like they can you have to take them seriously. If you use your main, you have to take like their secondary, their tertiaries, like their fourth best gear. You have to take them seriously. That's how good they were.
Okay, so we have. Let's see here. Next, we had for Scorpion, and that was. I know Czech had a fabulous Scorpion, and who else?
Stupid. Yeah, he was. Dude, remember like weapon stance forward one? Oh my god!
Oh yeah. That was probably like the cheapest starter, like that of every any character. I mean, that was just forward one spear and repeat.
Chat, remember the mix-up? It was Hellfire, sidestep Hellfire.
Oh yes.
And then,
I remember that.
And then, like, if you try to move forward one spear, Hellfire, and none of this, you could break because the Hellfire was unblockable, and the forward one and two spear, that's all like a projectile. You can't break that. So it was like. Then you add a throw, and it was just like, oh my god! Like, how do you get out of it? It was so broken.
So next we have Melina.
Yeah, and let me just add for the Xbox side for Scorpion. The best is a tie between You Will Perish. Not a lot of people would know this name.
You Will Perish. Like, yes, I remember him. Yeah.
Like the old ones, man, You Will Perish was a unique player. He was, I don't even know if it was his connection or his sidestep was just too good, but he was, the recovery was insane, man. He moved so quick, so fast. And so he was very good. He was the best. So as Bobby Blaze, he had a very crazy scar.
Yeah. Even though he was all Xbox, I do remember him, seeing people talking about having matches on him online as well.
So then you said Melina?
Yeah, Melina is the next one I'm looking at here. Melina, no names really come to mind as far as who was really good with her.
Didn't Master Malone? Did he use Melina? Was he?
That's I was gonna say that he was the best Melina in the game. He gave me a run for my money, and I was using a top tier character, and he was very good. Yeah, he was known in the Xbox. He was known for the best Melina player.
But he also used Darius, didn't he?
I don't recall. The thing is that every time I played him, he posted online that in the Xbox, I was one of the few that I gave him a hard time because he always played his best, and I definitely was playing my best too.
Yeah.
Okay, so after Melina, we have Baraka. Any names coming to mind?
I don't have anybody.
No,
yeah, for Baraka for Xbox was DJ Dirty.
Who again?
DJ Dreddy, that's the guy that I mentioned.
Oh, Dreddy, yes, Dreddy. Okay.
Oh yeah, okay.
And Dirty Loa had a nasty Baraka too.
Dirty, yes. Now,
Dirty, yeah.
Wow. Okay, it was. Yeah.
Man,
okay. I couldn't remember if
Dirty.
Go ahead.
Dirty is, man. He's my bro from another mother, man. Yeah. Dirty Loa. I mean, man. Hey, shout outs to you, bro. He's we used to after we played MK, we got into shooting games too. We were raping in Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Man, we have a lot of videos of him and I playing, and we were going like, man, 30-0, both of us, killing. Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine.
So he was playing Deception, and was he on Xbox side then?
He was playing on Xbox side, and I remember it was one who told him on the I think I sent him a message to join MKO, This was he was playing Raiden and I was playing Baracho. We kept playing, or we played for like so many games, and then because he was good, and I just sent him a message. Hey man, you should join this website. And I think he might, after he hears this and listens to this podcast, he probably can confirm that I'm not lying. I remember I told so many guys, and I just forgot who I told them, but I think it was him.
Yeah, no, of course. I think we all remember Dirty Leva. Like, I couldn't remember if I recalled him from, the Deception days, or if it was more of the MKDC days. I couldn't remember, but yeah, of course, yeah, I know who he is, of course. I know he has a big passion for Baraka, because he was really excited about him coming back for MK11. So that's awesome. So the next one, and the only player I could think of off the bat for Sub-Zero is Versa. Versa had a really mean Sub-Zero, but I can't remember who else was really playing him.
For Xbox was Giroy. Giroy NYC. Yep.
Oh yeah, okay, I do remember him. Okay.
I know there was somebody else on PSN, I just don't remember. But I think Versa, as much as PSN back in the day talk shit about you guys, I think Versa was the best Sub-Zero on either console for sure. Like, he was the one who understood. Like, he almost played him like a how Tom Brady used to play. You know what I mean? Like, it was this defensive, very annoying.
Yeah, he played Sub-Zero very smart. Like, he was just very very, very strategic. Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah, even though Sub-Zero was probably mid-tier, right? If I remember correctly, he would beat people's top tiers with Sub-Zero, and obviously MK Deception was very unbalanced, but he was still give people a lot of problems, even with Sub-Zero in that game.
He was using the clone as the BNR was using the cloud for no smoke.
Yeah,
exactly. That good. Yeah, I remember.
So next we have Sindel, and of course Dancock gets a big mention for Sindel because he was the best on the PSN, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what about Xbox?
And the Xbox, it was this guy, Atari 360, I believe was the number after Atari. Yeah, he was insane with that. Yeah.
Chab, how do you remember all these names, dude? That's incredible to me. I'm surprised to remember all.
That's the only one that isn't ringing a bell immediately. The You Will Perish and you said it, G-Roy. All those names are coming back to me. I remember all those guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. That at one point I remember one time I was at this bar, and it was New Year's Eve. I was sad because I'm not from here. I'm from Guatemala, and all my buddies are from Guatemala. My really good friends. And then I was just thinking there, and I sent a message to all my friends on Xbox. I'm like, man, you guys are probably my best friends because we used to interact every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in MKO every day, just talking shit, but it was just the good old days, So, and that's why I remember all these names, because they were for real. They were friends,
No, I see.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I felt the same way back then. It just that online scene. It just it's just sad that the Xbox and PSN, it was just two completely different worlds back then, but it's awesome that we, I mean, it was. I mean, if only all of us could play on the same plane. Just imagine how that would have been.
Yeah, we would have leveled up together, right?
Yeah. So Havoc, we all miss Havoc. I know we do. I legitimately miss Havoc. Well, I mean, they need to bring some of these guys back. I'm sorry, but Dairu, as much as I hated your Dairu, Dave, I want Dairu back. I'm skipping around here a little bit, but Hotaru, loved Hotaru. Some of these MK Deception exclusive characters, Havoc, Shujinko, bring them back. It just anyway. But Havoc, do we have any names for Havoc? I do not.
Neither do I.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
For the Xbox, it was Stretch Shrimp.
Yeah. Oh, again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He was the best Havoc. Alexi had a good Havoc too. Those two guys were the main beast for that character, and I love that character, man. And it's funny.
Oh yeah. He had like the taunts that actually hurt himself, but like he had.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
shit.
he would break his neck, and then he would
Yeah.
also do the. Well, he also had that spinning like punch move where his spine would twist.
Yep.
The where he'd curl in half and do the projectile, that kind of thing. But Chap, you're gonna have to list all these names like in the forum then, because
Yeah, yeah.
it's great to hear them. I really, what I would really like to do is start even a page or a section on Test Your Might to where it's all these names and just kind of like describing them from back in the day. Whether it's Dave and just talking about how annoying he was with his tombstone drops, or no, but really like it's great to have it's great to even just be like speaking of this, but it's just to have that history, and it's kind of the same thing that Shock and I are doing or trying to do for the UMK3 side of things, but. So next we have Raiden, and there's a player that I don't think we mentioned yet, but I can't think of what the hell their name was. Is there any new players that come to mind for Raiden?
No, there's no new players for me. I would just say Thug because I think he started off with Raiden.
I think that's who I was thinking about then.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thug started with Raiden, then he switched over to Hotaru.
Okay.
'Cause I think because like the Raiden didn't have the teleport, but in that game there was so much broken bullshit that it's really not a big of a deal. It's
Right.
like if you talk about like zoning, but that zoning was so broken that even if you teleport behind, the Topso drop will hit you anyway. It's like whatever. But again, like Thug started off with Raiden, he was the best, but then he switched over to Hotaru because Hotaru was like, because remember Hotaru had more cheap shit, like his throw was a pop up. Remember that, guys? So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
And he had
that
those
was-
lava bursts too.
Yeah, exactly. So he had that as well. So it was just overall a better character.
Oh man, yeah, I miss Hotaru. So Lee May, I can't think of any names for Lee May.
Yeah, I have no new ones. So.
For the Xbox,
Chap, I knew you had
Probably.
someone.
no, actually it was easy to beat.
Again, okay. Well, you did say he was
Yeah.
good with the whole roster, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he played her like very well. Another good player that played only female was this Mexican guy, Champion Tiger. You guys probably don't even know about it. He
No.
was one point and then he just disappeared. Champion Tiger, he was insane with all the females, but he had a crazy limit too. It was easy to beat in Champion Tiger, for sure.
Okay. So we have Lee May covered. Cabal. Now, I know, Dave, you mentioned Pick of the Hut was a Cabal player. Was there anyone else that we could add?
Not as far as I can't really remember anybody right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Cabal, and for you guys too. You guys are gonna remember this name. I think he was a PSN player, and then he came to the Xbox. Last Night Mistake.
Yes!
Oh yeah,
Dude, yes! He was the Cabal player.
dude, how do you remember all these damn names, dude? Like, that's
And
crazy.
these weird names too, right? Last Night Mistake.
Dude, yes! Wow, no, he was on both sides. I do remember him because I remember, of course, he beat me. But yeah, I remember playing him, and I also just remember seeing matches of him playing. Yeah, he was a great Cabal.
Yeah, another one was this guy, Gerchap. I heard he was good too with
Oh,
Cabal.
you were good with Cabal? That's awesome.
Yeah, he was my top 3.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, Last Night Mistake. That is terrific. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, that's great. So, okay, so Ermac, I know there's Quick 1320. Who else?
For the Xbox, Ermag was Quake and MKF too. He had a
that's
very
right.
good.
Yeah. He mentioned
Yeah,
about being really good.
yeah. I think, and I recall this back in MKO. Uh, MKF beat Quick in a mirror
Wow.
first to
Okay.
10.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. He did mention that in the forums. Okay.
and I actually I remember reading it too back in the day. Like, man, I'm talking about like about 10+ years ago. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's like, oh hell, like actually like more like 14 now. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So next we have Nightwolf. Any players that come to mind for Nightwolf? I mean, there's got to be someone. I know.
I know. I just don't remember, man. I know there's
Yeah.
somebody. Yes, and
Well,
What was see?
if we get to like a part 2 of this podcast and Dan's on, he said like I'm not gonna remember anything. I'm like an old geezer now. I said once we start talking, it just with chat mentioning all these names that I totally forgot about that anyway, just kind of like rekindling everything. But yeah, Nightwolf, maybe we'll have to just kind of come back to it. Now, Bill Raicho, I know there was Yayo, Mo81. They were 2 really good Bill Raicho. Probably Dave the best, right?
who? Say it again.
For Bill Raicho, it was Yayo and Mo81 probably.
Yeah, Yayo, More 81, Retzelly, PSN side also had a
Okay.
very good one. Again, Molson, but he was good with everybody. So
Oh yeah. He kind of had his like Molson with with zeros in his name, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I do remember him. Okay.
Yeah, he
For
was.
the Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Molson was like he was my. As far as Mortal Kombat Deception was concerned, like he was my mentor. Like he was the one who trained me how to play the game. Like like he was. Then I later picked Gyro, of course, and I did very well. But he was like people don't understand. Like again, like what Easy to Beat was for your Xbox community back in the day. Molson was for us. Like he really, really was.
That's awesome. So,
and for the Xbox side, Borracho,
Red Celine, right? Wasn't it?
Red Celine, however, and I think he's active in TYM with a different name. And I'm telling you right now, Red Celine didn't beat my Borracho, and my Borracho was a little different. And yeah, so I was known for the best Borracho, and I could hold my own playing him different. And a lot of people were telling me, "Hey, Gerchap, just do the dirty tricks." I'm like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep. Like I'm just trying to have fun. That's my mentality. I'm just trying to have fun, and I found this guy. And the thing is, I was taking advantage because when playing different people, they thought that after using the stick, I even forgot the command. So after using the stick, it was the grab, and everyone was ducking that, and I was just using another move, and that's why I was getting my combos. And then they were like halfway done pretty much. But yeah, I was different. And Conquer came to the Xbox, and we played, and I beat him actually. And I don't know if he remembers, but he went to the PS2 forums and said, "Man, I play Gerchap Borracho, and it's different." He wasn't.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
seeing that because everybody's like saying, "Gerchap, stop playing, with the rules. Play with the 4-3, the throw mix up," and he wouldn't do it. But no, I remember people saying that about you.
Yeah, because I didn't really have to, because I was taking advantage of nobody was playing like me. So I always got people like thinking that I was going to do the OTGs and all the glitches and stuff. But I wasn't. I was just playing like different. I was like, poking, and then the puke. That was my like the ice clone for Sub-Zero, the version I used.
Yeah.
And or the poke, low poke, and then and cloud for no smoke, the one that I was using. So I was doing the low poke and then puke. That's what I was pretty much starting my combos with Borracho, and it was just different. Another good Borracho, like very, very dirty. Man, this guy, nobody liked this guy. Horrible Black.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
This guy,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
do
was.
remember
guy
him.
Oh,
was-
yeah. That
this
guy
guy
was.
this guy was something else, man. He was so dirty and he couldn't shut up in the mic. But playing, he was just like, man, I'm like, oh, like bad words, like, oh man, you think you're gonna beat me, man. I don't even know how this guy focused playing because he was like yelling the entire match. We played so many games, and but he had like a very very dirty barrage like Red Saline, but he was different though. Horrible Black was using the same moves over and over and over and over, man. This guy played 10,000 plus games with the same character, doing the same thing.
Wow.
Yep, that's a good barrage.
So we have next is Noob Smoke. So we had BNR from Xbox Live. We have Newbie from the PSN side of things. A name that we haven't discussed yet. He might not have been like a top player, but he was, I think, very good. It was Vital. Either of you remember him? He was part of like the arcade, like Resurrected Knights. It was like Chingon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was part of them. It was Chingon, Vital. I don't remember who else was with them, but it was another clan. But he was just very kind of out of the box with Noob Smoke. He might not, again, might have been not.
I might have. I remember seeing that name. Just don't remember. He would, like you said, he definitely wasn't like as good as Newbie and BNR.
No, he just he played very kind of like what Gerchap was saying about like Bill Reicher, just playing very differently as far as he would really change things up on you with Noob Smoke. He again, I thought he was very good. Now I'm not sure who else. I guess we'll kind of keep going.
The only person I think Doomsday of NY. I'm pretty sure he used Noob.
Oh yeah. Doomsday and NYC. Yep. All right, so on to Tanya. Now I know Dan Kaku's Tanya. Sindel and Tanya were his two mains. And also Dave didn't like Mr. S or someone else of TKO use Tanya pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chapty, is there anyone from Xbox that was a good Tanya player that you recall other than Easy to Beat?
Actually, Easy to Beat.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. All right, so then we already kind of covered Shujinko. We've Crack Fiend, and we also said a check as well. So there's
played him too.
I'm sorry.
Shujinky Dink.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shujinko Dink. Okay. Now he was Xbox, right?
Yeah, he was Xbox.
Okay.
There was this other guy. He had a good Shujinko too, and his sidestep was probably the best player in regarding sidestep. I don't know if you guys remember this name. I don't know if he was a PSN player as well, as Modius or something like that. Asmodeus.
Yeah, I remember
something like
vaguely.
that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the name. I think I know who you're talking about. But again, let's not also forget about Quick 123 as well. He was,
for Shujinko.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have Hotaru. So Thug, right?
Thug for sure for me, number one, no question.
Okay.
Easy to beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I missed that character. They need to bring Hotaru and Diver back, and Astra. Yeah, I mean, really, I don't really give two shits about Cobra or Darius or whatever. So anyway, so Astra, I know there is Booyah.
Booyah.
Who else?
And the Xbox, probably the best Astra was that I couldn't mirror him because my Astra was top 3 too in the Xbox. It was Almagod. You guys remember him?
Yeah, dude. Was TKO as well, like at the very, very beginning. Yeah, he was like, I would say I could be wrong, and Gerchap could correct me, but I think he was the original Ashura, All the God.
Yes.
He was
yes.
like the one.
All the
with the
God.
scarlet-
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now, who else did? Wow. Holy shit. Who else did All the God play then? Did he play like a Noob Smoke too? Because I do remember
No.
him.
He only used top tiers. He used Ashura and Boraicho. Those are like his two best from what I remember. But he was like a pure top tier player. Like he didn't really use anybody else aside. Like he didn't bother with like Kira and shit like that. So.
Right. Okay. Wow. All the God. Wow. Okay. Now he was TKA too, wasn't he?
He's right. He was, and I just remembered. I can't believe I forgot.
Yeah. You guys had an army. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
So, Dave,
Alexi was good too with Astra. Best one. Alexi was All the God, the very first player. Alexi, Duhu, and probably mine too, like a top 5 right there.
wow, just amazed at all these names. It's kind of why I wanted to have this call and just kind of go over this kind of history lesson for all the newbies, really. So Dairu, Dave, of course, you were like the most annoying one on the PSN side of things, meaning the top player for Dairu.
There was somebody else. He played a bit different on PSN side. I don't remember his name right now, though. I know on Xbox MKF.
Well, you wait. Did Yayo play Dairu too?
No, he never played Aero.
He was Bull, right?
Yeah, he was only Bull.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember you and him playing like matches quite a bit. I remember and seeing those is of course the Conqueror videos that we had.
Yeah. I don't. Again, there was somebody else. Like Dairu was obviously broken. We all know that in retrospect. But like, not too many people, even though he was arguably the best character in the game, not too many people used him. Like people like their Boraichos, their Noob Cybots. I mean, their Noob Smokes rather.
No, his tombstone drop wasn't easy to do though. I remember you saying about like the inputs would actually didn't you actually mention that the inputs would actually like hurt your fingers or hurt your thumbs over a time?
Was oh my god! It was back. It was forward, back, down, and then
Yeah, it was like forward, back, down, back, and like circle or something. It was like a 5 input like move for that thing.
Exactly.
It was a lot.
Yeah. And when you did it, you couldn't actually block for like 3 or this. Like very very few people know this. When you did the move, you couldn't actually block for a while unless you cancel another move into it. So it's like
you couldn't block. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you couldn't block if you whiffed it. So there was actually it disables your block. So you had to do the move, and then cancel another really quick move into like a down one, and then you could block. So it was really really. So that's why Noob Smoke, with Smoke, he had a full screen teleport.
Those death from above. Well, never mind. That was the forward X. You're talking about his teleport, right?
Yeah, I think it was 444 maybe. I don't remember.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was actually.
So Dave,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dave. You posted. Probably I'm wrong, but I barely remember this. You posted a video that you did the same move like 3 times in a row or something.
Oh, for the tombstone drop.
Yes.
Yeah, like what happens is if you do a tombstone drop, you actually can't do another one unless you do like a quick sidestep and you cancel the buffered tombstone drop into the sidestep. So then you can do it really fast. And actually offline, it's so broken that I think because offline is more frames. Obviously, we know online skips frames, but we would know that very well by now. But back then we didn't know that. So if you actually jump, you can actually catch somebody while they're landing from the jump. If you keep doing the tombstone drop fast enough. So it's actually possible to punish somebody's jumping with it, which is kind of, you think it's crazy because you think, wait a minute, if I jump, I'm safe, but actually you're not. So, so like as Gerchap mentioned, if the connection is really good, and if you do that right, then you can, you can actually punish them from jumping. So you kind of like, it was so, yeah, man. But a lot of people think, wait, that's broken. But yeah, man, Deception was just full of broken shit like that.
But you know what? We dealt with it. You know, a lot of people.
We had our own rules. Remember the Noob Smoke Infinity, the corner Infinity.
Right.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. Like a lot of people don't know. Like this is what Yayo came up with. He was the one. He called it Jutsu or Jitsu, whatever the fuck he called it. You can actually escape some of the infinite combos if you tap down at the right time. So if
I remember that. Yeah.
So this is what changed the matchup for Dairu, because it was already good enough against Boraicho. If you tap down while hitting you with forward 3, you can actually duck his throw and throw him back, which puts a full screen and you can zone him. And same thing with Noob Smoke. If they do down 1 and you tap down at the right time, you can actually escape the next, then whatever the knee nosebleed or whatever the hell thing that thing was called. So
right.
So this changed a lot of the matchups, because obviously Dairu, you want to run away, you don't want to let them catch you. So now you have a defensive option. So what it came down to, and this was a huge deal if you understand the game at a high level. Boraicho does forward 3, you can break it on reaction. If you expect to throw down, throw him back, put him full screen, and you zone him back. That was like the meta back in the day.
Jesus.
Yeah. And Storms, you're right. That's why a lot of people didn't use Dairu, because all this stuff, it wasn't like super high execution, but it definitely required more execution than for fucking Boraicho or Darius or
yeah. I mean his tombstone drop, you had that down to in art. You were as far as the PSN side of things, you were the most dominant Dairu. That's your legacy with that character. But yeah, he I wouldn't say he was easy to play at all. With Boraicho, hell, I remember even touching up Boraicho just to see if I could the same crap that I would get beat with online. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try this. And Boraicho, not to downplay Boraicho players, but it was easier to do than a tombstone drop. That strategy.
He was like the alien before Alien became Alien in MPX. So that's kind of how I felt about him,
So next we have 4 more characters to go.
Okay.
Next we have Cobra, and it was Mr. S, I believe, for this one.
Yeah, dude. Let me just say, I freaking love Cobra. Do you know why?
Why is that?
And I know Chad will remember this as well. Was it down 3 in weapon stance? Right? Was it?
Oh, that little tap, that little annoying tap thing.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
That's the one you're talking about, right? Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That move, in general, moves are very unsafe in in the Mortal Kombat Deception, because the frame data is all over the place. But that move is insane. It's so hard to punish, because it's just a little poke. I don't even know what to compare it to nowadays, just for the newer players. But it was this long range low poke that had almost no recovery, and he got a free throw afterwards. So it was just players would do down 3, down 3, down 3, throw, down 3. It was just it was so stupid.
Well, wasn't his nunchuck move, was that back 3?
Oh yeah, the mid move, yeah. Which was a
it was a knockdown,
hitting.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a multiple hitting. He was another very dumb 50-50 type. It was down 3, which was a low. She kept close. Thank you for reminding me. It was back 3, which was this multiple hitting, nunchuck move where he spins it, and that's kind of all you did. He had also good zoning, by the way. Yeah, he was one of my secondaries, because he had really good zoning, because he had
Well, he had a projectile. I remember that.
I know he had a low fireball and also a high fireball. It was kind of like Sagat,
Didn't he have a full whirlwind fire kick too?
Yeah, he did. But it was he was a zoning, a very broken zoning character with really good up close game.
Yeah, it was either back 3 or back. Yeah. I remember that nunchuck move. So I got hit with that a lot.
Yeah, it was
another good player for Cobra. I don't know if you guys remember him. KF Dara.
KF Gara, you said?
Yep.
KF Gara.
Yeah, I don't remember that name at all.
No,
probably MKF will remember, because MKF has been whatever. Yeah, KF Gara was a great player, a great cover player. Another one was Alexi, and man, I don't really remember who else. I don't remember who else.
Yeah, about to add their names to the list. Yeah, Cobra. Yeah, Mr. S, and it was really good with Cobra.
Yeah, this like a German name, right? Mr. Shrimp. Something.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows how to pronounce it, so we're just gonna go with Mr. S.
we just go with Mr. S. That's what we've always called him. So
next we have Darius, and I still can't think of anyone who was really well known with Darius.
I know there was somebody. I know for a fact. So let's just dude, Darius. I just want to talk about the character real quick.
Sure.
This was. Man, people complain about Alien. This character is just
he had that uppercut move, and then he would do that charge move, right? It was
exactly.
That on repeat.
Yeah, but what made him really stupid was his standing 3 was this mid pop-up launcher.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So and then he has a advancing low.
It was like a slide, right?
It wasn't. Yeah, he kind of slid and he hit you with it.
It was like a down forward 2 or something like that.
Yeah, no, down forward 3, down forward 3. He did that. He slid and hit you with this punch, which was all on break. So he did, pop up 3, down forward 3, and then you stunned forever on the ground. Then he walks up, does a side step, throws you. And then with the throw, he had a glitch OTG which did 60%.
Yeah, in the Xbox was Pig of the Hut had a crazy.
Oh yeah, Pig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Pig, I think that's who you ended up using, right? Against top tier characters, that's.
Yeah, he was. If you pissed him off, he would get him out.
Yeah, that's if Cabal doesn't do it, I know Pig would just fucking I had enough. He would just go straight to Dyrus.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Kira. Who do we have for Kira? I can't think of anyone.
I think Master Malone played Kira too.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she was didn't people she was universally considered the worst character in the game, right? Wasn't she?
That's what they say. Yeah.
We have Liu Kang yet too. Keep in mind.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, I know Kira was considered super low tier, right?
Oh,
wasn't she?
Yeah, one of them.
She was. I think she was the lowest.
Yeah, she was considered the lowest. So.
Yep.
So not too many really people use her. I think that's the point.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Liu Kang, again, I can't think of anyone who was. And we had Zombie Liu Kang in that game.
Yeah, Alexi was the best Liu Kang in the X.
Yeah, he was a mid-tier character, nobody, not too many people mained. He was just used as a pocket character, I guess.
Right, something.
I don't remember too much about him. I know he had a projectile as usual, but what was his moves like? Did he have anything stupid? Can't remember right now.
Did he have that move where he his grab and then he kicked you across the screen?
Yeah, I know that, but what is his did he have a nasty 50-50 or?
He was.
Go ahead, Chap.
What I remember from Alexi and Stretch Shrimp, they played this guy. He had a good recovery though. The 50-50 was good because his recovery was very fast.
I know, but what was his 50-50 though? I'm trying to remember it.
Oh man, I remember the low poke. Very fast. Ew.
Oh yeah. I think yeah. Was it down 1? Just down 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had the second best low poke in the game after Cobra, of course. After Cobra's down 3, and then I know his grab was stupid, but I'm trying to remember what was the mid that they mixed it up with. Did he have a good mid attack?
Oh man, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Now that you guys mentioned, not many players played him either.
I know. That's what I thought because he was just he was very good, but he was just a mid-tier character, so not too many people used him.
Right.
Especially like he was zombie, so that turned some people off. You know, they didn't really like that either. So
Yep.
He had the chains and all that.
yeah.
Plus this
and all that.
character, you had some characters who had like an alternate skin. Like you had Raiden, Sub-Zero, Noob Smoke, but not everyone had an alternate. Correct?
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Like that was pretty stupid. So okay, we went through the roster, kind of talking about of course the clans from Outlaw Gods, TKO, and how you guys found it. As far as I go, yeah, I just of course I was never any kind of top tier player. I just more of a community guy, but finding MKO back in the day, it just I think just kind of related to how both of you probably stumbled upon it. It was just where all the information was gathering as far as like the players and that. But as far as finding deception, I really don't even remember how I even got into that, other than just probably seeing advertisements, maybe even on TV or magazines, probably just magazines, and just kind of getting into that game. I remember getting a network adapter so I could play the game online, because PSNs or PlayStation 2s didn't have that back then. You had to buy that external device to get your PlayStation online. And
Storms, just speaking of online, was MK Deception the first official?
Yeah, that was the first online game. That's why it's so like special to me, and just how like all this history that we have, because as Shock and I were talking about UMK3, like it just occurs to me more and more that while we were doing that, these offline guys were still holding these UMK3 tournaments that you literally have a handful of people showing up to. Whether it's L.I. Joe, Julian, Conqueror, Shock, and that might be it. Might have probably Summoning and those guys, but we were two different worlds probably happening at the same time. And back then, if you mention a tournament, if you just say like, hey, there's a tournament going on like tonight, and we would always assume that, all right, obviously it's an online tournament. And if it was ever an offline, we would have to specify that it was an offline tournament, just because of how we kind of grew into the competition, in my perception anyway. And then, of course, nowadays, it's just if there's a tournament, it's an offline tournament. It's just the culture that we have now. It's really neat to learn about how our kind of worlds kind of grew together, but how far apart they were back then. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's also how, and I think we can hope we save this conversation for the part 2, Storms, if you don't mind. Talk about how we've been, in this community for a long time right now, but how like stuff changes so quickly. We talked about, I remember it felt like yesterday I was browsing Test Your Mind and all the information was there that I needed. And then like I check SRK and I check Takezetsu. I checked Test Your Mind. It's like, where have the players gone? Where are they talking right now? Right? Doesn't it feel like that to you as well? Like it seems like it changes so quickly. You know what I'm trying to say? Like from a year to year, people play online, and maybe more than maybe next year they play more offline, and then the information that you seek is all of a sudden not where you used to finding it.
No,
so
that's definitely as we kind of tapped into a little earlier, but yeah, I think that's definitely, and we could say that for part 2. We'll hang this one up here soon, but that's definitely. Chap, would love to have you back for that discussion as well.
We should add the MKA too, because there is a lot of more names that I didn't mention.
Oh yeah, God, I hated that game. I hated the aerial combat. That was terrible.
Let's save that one for next time, and hopefully maybe we can bring, as Gerchap mentioned earlier, at the beginning of the podcast, maybe bring some, 1 or 2 people. I know Dancock is interested.
Yeah, and also maybe, if Rio wants to, because he was a big MKA guy.
Yeah. So he would, I think, make a great guest, and I'm very close to Rio, so I'll try to get him on the next podcast. So hopefully we can make a second part, and it's
Absolutely.
good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really enjoy reminiscing about, you know, because Rio and I talk about this a lot sometimes, but it's good to have more than just Rio and me, you know, like it's good to have Gerchap, you know, and you as well, Storms.
Yeah, and also because you know, like there are a lot of more guys in from the community that of course that I didn't mention because these guys came at the end, pretty much at the very end of the deception.
Right.
And they got so good that I didn't mention because they were not, you know, like they were not at the very beginning. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for example, Chaos Theory, this guy Chaos Theory, he was probably the most.
Okay,
he improved so much that I couldn't beat him at the end of Deception. I couldn't beat him, and I was like, man, this guy got so good. He was probably the most improved player. It's too bad that we were like pretty much almost done with Deception and getting into MKA, but he kept the same status. He was an elite player, and he was playing a lot of characters too. Because I believe he was playing a lot with Easy to Beat, and Easy to Beat was just sharing a lot of information, man. And what I used to do with Easy to Beat, we just like a lab, you know, like try and stuff this, or let me grab it, chap, or let me do this, chap, or you know, or block down, block up, you know, like we spent a lot of hours like that, and I bet he did the same with Chaos, because Chaos like a night and day. He became so good at the game at Deception that man. But yeah, he was a very classy player too. Like he really fucked with a lot of people. He was a classy guy, same as Malone and Mace Win. So as Dark Tracks too. Dark Tracks was like one of the finest too, you know. But because he was in the UK, he wasn't really active in the Xbox in our side.
True.
No?
Yeah, that's true. I see what you mean.
Hey, we should yes. We should save this for part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point that you mentioned about like training with people online, because the practice mode was horrible back in the day. Like there was no record feature. You know, you couldn't reduce the lag. You know, like anything that you see in a modern fighting game, you know, that's Tekken or you know, Mortal Kombat or Injustice. Like there were no options to record, test your moves. You know, you just all you could do was just practice combos, and that's it. You know,
yeah,
you didn't really know how to.
And you know, the alien combos were like because the timing wasn't the same as online.
That's
like
true, but yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why I couldn't really do stuff like if you know going to just practicing. It was a little different, you know, a little different to do it online. The timing was a little different. But yeah, no, we should do all this for part 2 because there is a lot more to talk about in MK Armageddon.
Definitely, yeah. We'll hang this one up here, and we'll get something coordinated here soon. Whether it's later in the week or whatever, we'll just kind of coordinate through discussion, whether it's on Discord or we'll on the private message that we have on Test Your Might, and we'll just kind of go from there. But I thank you both for your time. I was just very pleased to kind of get this rolling. I wish I could have had Dan on here as well, but we'll have to get him on like a part 2, and we'll just kind of go from there. So thank you both.
Thank you guys. I grabbed some food now, and I'm gonna just go eat and got a few beers.
Nice. Yeah, Storm, thank you for inviting us, you know, to have an opportunity to, you know, reminisce about, you know, what we would probably say are good old times, you know, maybe some bad ones too, but yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, and I can't wait for part 2. All right.
Awesome.
Have a good night, fellas.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.